And as Americans vote for the next president, let's understand what is at stake in these elections, the unique appeal of Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, and how the new leadership will steer America's relations with India and the world. DD India's Shubhendu Ghosh in conversation with Vivek Mishra, an expert on US politics from Observer Research Foundation.
We are in front of the US Capitol. America is all set to elect its new president. To talk about it, I have with me a special expert, Vivek Mishra from Observer Research Foundation. Vivek, welcome to DD India.
Thank you.
Now, we've not seen such a polarized elections. What is your take on what is at stake in these elections for America?
I think if you look at the electorate, many things are at stake, but particularly the economy, the state of the economy in particular, and the state of the American democracy. 76% of the Americans today think that the health of the democracy is in danger. And while that cuts on either side on what could it mean for a Democrat or a Republican, but the general sentiment resonates strongly with the people here that there is a change that needs to be done.
And you also see American politics traditionally has been Republican versus Democrat, now becoming some sort of a contest between cults, because we see Donald Trump and Kamala Harris personifying a different vision for the future in that sense. What is their appeal, according to you, that works in these elections?
So as you saw in the aftermath of the announcement that Kamala Harris was going to be the Democratic candidate, you saw a swell of support among the women, among the youth of this country, because they really sympathized with the idea of Kamala Harris coming as a new change to the government, to the next administration. On the side of Trump, I think you generally see that the country is divided almost into half, right, on critical issues of inflation, the economy, etc. And they see the Biden-Harris administration as really not having done what they should have done. And that resonates strongly with the people.
Given the superpower that America is on the global stage, what happens here, a person who becomes the president, would have great bearing on a lot of global issues. I'm thinking of the Ukraine conflict, also what's happening in Gaza and elsewhere. What is your take on the kind of impact that these elections could have the world outside?
So the whole world is watching this election with bated breath. And one of the critical issues is what happens to Ukraine. Now, Trump has particularly said that he will solve the issue in 24 hours, particularly the Ukraine conflict. But I think to Zelensky and to the Ukrainian conflict, either the next change would have to deal with a lot of challenges for Ukraine. And on the Gaza question, I think Trump, should he win, is going to latch on to that question, because he considers himself to the president who brought the Abraham Accords to the region, which sort of brought a semblance of peace and stability in the region. Now he has promised that he's going to pick the sticks from where he left.
Right. And Vivek, finally, during our coverage, we spoke to many Indian Americans who are staying in America, were candidates in these elections, the local elections. You've also been looking into the role of India and Indian Americans, the kind of relationship they have with America. What is at stake for them, India and Indian Americans, vis-a-vis these elections?
Interesting. So there is, as you have noticed, that there is a swell of shift within the Indian American community. And one of that shift reflects the fact that they are probably going towards voting Republicans, because traditionally the Indian Americans are seen as being Democrat. And that changes, of course, because people here don't see, many of the generations of people who have lived here don't see them as Indians as such, but I think as Americans. And then immigration becomes a concern if you're a resident here and if that's a genuine problem. But on the issue of corporate accountability, etc., and corporate taxes, I think Trump would be the president for the Indian Americans, because Indian Americans, remember, are among the most well-to-do populations and specific populations here.
Thank you very much for joining us. Vivek Mishra from the ORF talking about issues, themes at stake. It's very crucial presidential elections in the United States. With camera person Jaishankar, Shubhendu Ghosh for DD India in Washington, D.C.